Hi there. We often get a question like, hey, my back focus of my remote camera is off. Well, that's interesting. How did it get off? How do you adjust it? And first of all, what is back focus? Well, to explain you that, I have here a typical remote camera. It's the AW-HE130, a very popular model. And to show you the back focus issue, in front of it there is a collimator. A collimator is a tube with a lens system inside and some test plate. It's already installed, but I have a second one, the smaller brother, to show you. So this goes in front and this is the lens system, and the other side there is a target. In this case it's a Siemens star chart. So if I show you the picture now of the AW-HE130, it looks on the star chart. If I tick on it, you can really see it's the picture that you see that is shooten by this camera, by this collimator. At this moment we are in full tele. If I zoom out, you see we suddenly go off focus, and at the end we are really off focus. If I correct the focus, there was a better point. So yes, there is something with the focus going from tele to wide. That is often called the back focus problem. But where is the back focus adjustment then? First of all, what is the back focus adjustment? Let's take a more traditional lens like this one. So this traditional lens has the focus adjustment in the front. Mechanically you can see the focus lens is going further out and coming in. Then we have the zoom train. There is a zoom train running in the lens. There is the iris ring, and at the end the last adjustment is the back focus. What does it do physically? It will shift the last lens group closer and or further, because there on the other side will be the sensor. So it changes the projection distance to the sensor, like if I were adjusting the flange back distance to the sensor. With cinematographic lenses, by the way, there is no back focus lens. There you have really to adjust the flange back by adding or removing shims, or by some cameras allow you to shift the sensor back and forwards. But with video zoom lenses, which have a lot more glass, you can do the flange back adjustment with what we call the back focus adjustment. So it's like the whole lens is coming closer or further away of the sensor. By the way, the impact of the back focus adjustment is the most noticeable in wide view, because in wide this focus has almost no meaning, because the image is not amplified by the zoom train. So you set the back focus in wide, and then if you zoom in, this will have a big impact. So the telefocus you do with the focus adjustment, and then you go back to wide and check if the flange back needs more or less adjustment. That is the flange back or back focus adjustment with the traditional zoom lens. Okay, Mr. Chris, that's a nice explanation, but where is it in this camera? Please tell me. Well, there is no back focus adjustment because there is no back focus lens. And the reason is this lens work totally different. This is the lens inside the HE130. So it's fully closed. There are some sensors and some motors, but these are the sensors. But there are also sensors there, Hall element, etc. And the funny thing is, the zoom lens is in the front and the focus lens is behind. So it's not the same as with a traditional lens, remember, where the focus was in front and where the zoom train was behind. No, this works opposite. Zoom is in the first, and then follows the focus. Reason is, guys, what is the reason? Well, this lens is a 20 times zoom lens, and it's very compact. The traditional lens here I have is maybe only 15 times zoom, and it's much bigger. So by changing the place of the focus and the zoom, we can make the lens much more compact. Aha! So is there anything else to know? Yes. By putting the zoom here and the focus there, by the way, the system is called inner focus system. Check, Google inner focus system, and you will find some interesting things. Because of the inner focus systems, I have some diagram here. The inner focus system, so the inside of the lens looks a bit like this. So the zoom lens, and there is the focus lens. There is a fixed lens, okay, that is not important. But because we reversed the zoom and focus positions, when we zoom, the focus normally would be lost. Therefore, the focus lens has to do a correction movement if you go from tele to wide or the opposite. And here are some examples. If we are on focused, we have an object on 1.2 meters. If you zoom from tele to wide, the focus lens is on 1.2, but will do this kind of correction motion when going to wide. And these are curves for all different, there, let's say for different distance, here are only some examples, but for different distance there are many curves. So, but at this point in the wide and infinite side, the distance here, you see they all come together here. We could call this a virtual back focus point, but the whole trajectory is a zoom tracking curve. So during the manufacturing of this unit, the lens was analyzed, and to a microcontroller who controls the movement of all lenses, the curves were learned, which are unique for each lens, because there is tolerances on the lenses. Okay, the curves for all the different focus distances are inside, and basically nothing moves. So why can it happen that with this unit the focus did change anyway? I mean, it does not stay in focus when I zoom out. What did happen to this unit? Oh, I'm on autofocus, that's why it could focus, sorry. I go to manual focus, and if I zoom out now, step by step, you see the defocus is coming, and it's really very bad at the end. What did happen to this unit? Well, that's very simple. This unit suffered from a major drop. So normally, if you use the unit as it should be, the back focus will never change. But of course, if the unit is fallen off the tripod or dropped on the ground or packed in a flight case with very sturdy foam, and then it's thrown, then the lens gets huge g-forces, and something will get bended or shift in the lens, and then you get this kind of trouble. So if you have it, and if it's not too bad off, it can be readjusted. But anyway, it has to come into service because it needed connected to an adjustment program, and you need the big collimator to readjust it perfectly. So in many cases it can be readjusted. Of course, if too many lenses or sensors are bended too much, it can happen. The lens comes at the physical ends of its limit, and the back focus cannot be readjusted again, and then it needs replacement. So gentlemen and ladies, please do not throw these units around with more than 20 G, because at the end you will get bad focus, especially at the wide end. Thank you for watching. Okay, this is a little add-on to the movie. So the camera is now connected to the adjustment system and the collimator is in place. In the small window you see the picture of the camera, and I will just start the adjustment. First there is a preparation step. So now we have the focus window where the software will analyze the focus, and now I start the back focus adjustment. So for several points in between full tele and full wide, the system will search for the best focus point, remember and store that data, and then calculate the whole curve of the zoom tracking curve, and do that for several distance, so from 1.2 meter up to infinity. So this whole process takes about 2 minutes. Of course, as I explained before, if the lens is too much damaged, this process will not work anymore and the lens will need replacement. So I wonder, because this lens was quite off, the amount of off in white was quite high, if we will still achieve a full zoom tracking adjustment of this lens, if it will succeed. So it did end up with a tele, and it's now going to wide area on several points. Yips, I think we are almost there. This is the widest point. It's adjusting now. Now last check in full tele, and the program says it's completed successfully. That's good news for the customer. Add-on 2, after the adjustment I connected now to the remote panel again, so let's do a check from tele to wide and how it behaves now. So I'm in full tele, I will do focus for the best, that's done, and now zoom out. As you see, of course, the chart, now we are in full wide. As you see, the focus is still at its best. It's not comparable to what we had in the beginning. So yep, this is the final end of this movie. Thank you very much for watching. By the way, the explanation does not only count for the AW-HE130, but for any remote camera that we make. Bye bye.